There and welcome to episode number 4 of the Team Black and Gold show. I am Blake Yount, executive broker with EXP NWA Branch here in Northwest Arkansas. If you want to talk directly to the brokerage, their phone number is 866-720-5056. If you want to talk to me, phone number is 479-363-4331. Or if you want to talk to the star of the show who's never on camera but always pulling the strings, her name's Ashley and her phone number is 479-325-9348. I've got that one memorized just like my own, unlike EXP's number, which once again is 866-720-5056 according to my notes. So anyway, today's good for you. I'm happy for you. Today's episode, I want to go into, I was sitting around thinking it's a well-known fact that real estate agents are widely disliked. It's an unpopular profession, and I was just curious as to why. And in today's day and age, we have artificial intelligence tools to help us understand the world around us. And so I decided to ask Grok, what are the top 5 complaints about real estate agents? And Grok spit it out for me, and I thought I would give you answers that Grok gave me as to what the top 5 complaints are. I thought I would respond to these, and then I would go ahead and ask Grok what the best response would be according to AI. So it's going to be me versus AI. We'll see how well my answers match with Grok's after we go through all this. So I don't want to take too much time, so I'll get right into it right here. So here you can see the question, what are the top 5 complaints about real estate agents? Grok says, based on web information, the top 5 complaints are 1. Lack of communication, and here's the explanation. Clients often report that agents fail to provide regular updates, respond slowly to inquiries, or don't explain the process clearly, leaving buyers and sellers frustrated and uninformed. So I can see from a consumer point of view how frustrating that would be to go into something, whether you're buying or selling your home. It's one of the biggest things you're going to do, and you do it every 5 to 10 years, sometimes even longer. So you go on about your daily life. You don't buy and sell real estate for a living, and then it comes up and it's a lot of money. It's usually tied to a larger life event. So there's a lot of emotion. Everything's kind of on edge. And if you don't understand the process and things start to go a little bit sideways, all kinds of alarm bells and old emotions start coming to the surface, and frustrations and anger, sadness, the whole thing. I've seen it a lot. And if you compound that by not really having confidence in the process that you're following, because you didn't get that communication from whatever agent you've decided to go with, can make everything much, much worse than it has to be. So part of our job, and I've said it before, is to meet with you before you dive into the process, before you go look at houses, or before you actually list your house for sale. We need to meet with you, and we need to go over what it's going to look like, what the template will be, turning on the lights to the haunted house before you go in is what we need to do for you. Within reason, there's always going to be things that come up that nobody can foresee, but you need to know that too, and just be ready to handle certain things. We might have a 3-foot visitor walk in here, but so that to me is number 1, is we need to explain the process. We need to let you know what documents might come into play and what they mean, so that you have a good handle on what's going on. We here at Team Black and Gold pride ourselves on having the most informed buyers and sellers, because we are very intentional about giving you that information so that you can make the best decisions for yourself and your family. The other stuff about not providing regular updates or being slow to respond to inquiries, outside of mistakes, you need to find an agent that it's part of their process to provide updates, whether it's a weekly guarantee like we offer, or we tell clients, if you have a question or something, send it to this group text that we're all a part of, and we will get back to you ASAP. It's not going to be 2 days from now. It's not going to be 1 day from now. We're probably going to get back to you within an hour or two, depending on if we're in a meeting or something like that. But it's going to be very quick. We respond quickly, and that's the expectation that we set. So if you want to go see a house or something like that, or you just have a general question about where things are with your deal that you're currently in, we'll be back with you in not if not a matter of minutes, it'll be within a couple of hours at least. And if all else fails, you are going to get a weekly update. Most of the time, it's more often than that. We'll probably speak anywhere from every day to every other day. It just depends on what's going on. But let's say there's nothing going on, we will check in at least once a week and say, hey, where are you at? Are there questions that I can help answer? I want to make sure everybody's on the same page going forward. So that can all, the lack of communication being the number one complaint, I wanted to attack that one first. That can all be addressed, and that should not be a concern if you're dealing with a true professional as far as an agent goes. So the next thing is a little disturbing. The number 2 complaint, according to Grok, would be pushy or dishonest behavior. And it says that some agents pressure clients into decisions that benefit the agent's commission over the client's needs, or they misrepresent property details to close deals faster. That's terrible, and it should not go on. I can say in Northwest Arkansas, most of the agents, probably all of them that I've worked with, don't have a problem in this regard. So the fact that it's the number 2 complaint coming from the web, coming from AI, is a little bit concerning, because it's in our code of ethics that we put our clients' needs first. We are fiduciaries. So at no point does our commission and our attaining of that commission at the closing table come into our advice to you. It doesn't enter the deal. We have to get paid for what we do. I don't think anybody has a problem with that. But if we're misrepresenting property details, or we're manipulating people somehow just so that we can get to the closing table faster, and you can prove that, our license will be taken away. There's probably fines to be paid, and depending on the deal, I'm guessing you could, I don't know if you could go to jail for that or not. I don't know. I would not put myself in that situation as an agent to be pushy or dishonest. The way we see it at Team Black and Gold is, if you're achieving your goals, we're going to achieve our goals. So we put yours first, and let things flow from there. And we're always appreciative to benefit from that, but that's never the first concern at all. So pushy or dishonest behavior, if that's going on in your situation, I'm sorry, it doesn't have to be that way. There are literally thousands of agents that you can choose from, and most of them won't even put you in that situation. So if you feel like that's happening to you, exit stage left and find somebody else. Okay, number 3, inadequate market knowledge. This one is a problem, and it says complaints arise when agents lack expertise about local market trends, pricing, or neighborhood specifics, leading to poor advice or missed opportunities. The agent that you talk to should either know current prices, maybe prices per square foot, should have a working knowledge of the inventory that's on the market, should have some idea of things that have recently sold. The agent should just kind of know what's going on around, or know how to get that information. When it gets in, there are so many neighborhoods, when it gets into specifics, that agent needs to be able to be honest and say, well, I don't know everything about that neighborhood, but give me a couple hours. I'll get back in the office and I'll look at it, and I'll be able to analyze it from there. So they need to have a baseline knowledge of the market in general, so that they can go back and do specific research for you. And that, to me, is a serious issue. There's very little training in the real estate industry on how to become a market expert. Most of the time, it goes so far as to say, well, you just need to get a little bit of experience um, to really get a handle on it. And I don't think that's true. We've got the MLS, which has so much data in it. If you're more of a, what's it called, a kinetic learner, where it's hands-on, you can go out, you can preview homes, you can do open houses, you can walk neighborhoods, you can really go get a sense and a feel for everything around you. Combine it with research, data research in the MLS, and before you ever sell a single house or help somebody buy or sell a single house, you can really know a lot about the real estate market so that you can be that expert. And a real life example of it is, if we have a buyer that makes an offer on a property, one of the first things we do before we put that offer over is we'll go in and we'll do market research to figure out if the price is in line with what other people have paid for similar properties. And that protects our clients by saying, okay, you're not overpaying, or maybe this is a good deal. It's in line with the market, or maybe you're getting it for a little bit less than we might have priced the house at. We'll tell you what our conclusions are, but that comes from market knowledge. Whether you know it right off the top of your head or you know how to find it, it needs to be done if you're doing full service for a buyer client. On the seller side, you can really cost yourself some money if you don't know what's going on. If you don't know that there's going to be a huge development not far from the property that increases its value. I don't know, maybe bike trails or something like that. If you're talking Bella Vista, if you know that a bike trail is going to run right by the backyard or connect to the backyard, that does wonders for your home value. And if you can get that confirmation from the people that are putting it in there, then you can tell your seller, like, okay, you can either wait 6 months until this trail actually touches and we can show that to buyers, or you can go on the market right now with this report that says it's going to happen, and the house that you thought could sell for this much can now actually, we can market it for much more, and it's going to speak to more people. So that's an example of market knowledge that if you don't know it off the top of your head, you can find that information. We as agents need to do that for you. It's part of our job. It's part of the work that we do when nobody's watching, is we're catching up on the different markets that we serve so that we can bring you the best information, the best opportunities, and things like that. So if your agent is just bebopping around and they don't know this stuff, or they're not interested in finding out, then you do have a problem, because how can we call ourselves a fiduciary if we can't give you specific advice about the property that you're about to buy or sell? I don't think we can. So definitely I can see that complaint coming in. If your agent either has no interest or has not been properly trained on giving you the market information that you need to make good decisions. So number 4, next, neglecting client needs. That sounds horrible. Let's see what it is. Grok says agents sometimes prioritize their own interests. We already talked about that, such as pushing for quick sales or favoring higher priced listings over understanding and addressing their clients' priorities. So obviously, if you give your agent a budget and they're just showing you things at the top of your budget or beyond the top of your budget, trying to stretch you out a little bit, you need to be very clear with that agent that you're not comfortable with that, you don't like that, and please stop showing us things that will just net you the highest commission if that's what you think is going on. But the last part of that statement, understanding and addressing their clients' priorities, that needs to be number 1. And I'm happy to say at Team Black and Gold, we ask you down to the detail of how do you prefer to communicate. Do you like text message, email, phone calls? How do you like to communicate? We get that detailed with what your priorities are, so that we make sure to be speaking to who you are and what you need that whole time. And I know for a fact that we will, as soon as we get a pre-approval or pre-qualification from a lender for a buyer, we turn around and we ask that buyer, okay, do you understand what that means for you monthly, or do you want to try to find something less? And it's very important that your agent is communicating those kinds of things to you and asking you those kinds of questions so that they can zero in on what it is that you want and need. And if they refuse to do that and they're putting themselves first, like we said before, there's thousands of options out there for you. Move on. You don't have to put up with that. And I said it before, I'll defend agents in Northwest Arkansas here. A lot of good ones out there. Way too many good ones for any of you to be putting up with an agent that's not serving your needs specifically. If each household knows 12 agents, which I believe is the statistic, and one of them's not putting your needs first, go talk to the other 11 and find out which one will. I'm sure at least 10 or 11 of them would. So maybe you just got the one bad apple in the bunch. Most agents are very good. They want to serve you because they want referrals in the future. They want repeat business. Contrary to popular belief, we don't come home with a lot of our commission check. Even if we did, it's heavily taxed, and nobody's getting rich on one deal. So we need referrals, we need repeat business, and the best way to do that is to take great care of you and deliver you what you absolutely want and need. That way you turn around and tell your friends and family how great your experience was. So if you're caught in the opposite situation, then you're probably dealing with a part-time agent that they're just looking for a quick boost to their income, or maybe their spouse is the breadwinner or something like that. Who knows? But the point is, there's professionals out there, and lots of them, that'll take great care of you and will not neglect your needs at all. All right, moving on to number 5, poor negotiation skills. Clients express dissatisfaction when agents fail to negotiate effectively, resulting in unfavorable terms, higher costs, or lost deals. The way to overcome this is for an agent to work on his or her negotiation skills and make sure. I think what happens is clients get very emotional and they want something to be done, and they forget to fight for themselves. And that's where we as agents need to come in and not speak out of turn. Like, if you want something to happen, it's our job to make that happen. But if we think you can get a better deal, or we think you can sell for more, or we think that this buyer is being unreasonable with their inspection requests, we need to tell you that, even though you might be saying, you know what, let's just do it, I want out of it, yada yada. We can say, well, let's slow down, and I think we can negotiate some of this out. But if your priority is, let's not lose this deal, then we can test the waters. We can do, like, these are all skills that come into play. And most of the time, a skilled agent, a skilled negotiator can work you a bit of a better deal than if it's just all based on knee-jerk reaction. But I think what happens is a lot of agents hear their clients say, I don't want to lose this deal, and the agent doesn't want to do anything that would rock the boat. And then a couple months later, when the deal is done and your emotions aren't as high as a buyer or seller, you sit there and think about it, and like, man, my agent should have stood in the gap for me and at least slowed me down and made me think. I think that's probably what this is talking about. So it gets back to number 1, which is communication. Because I don't think agents need to be going out there and negotiating your deal without your permission. We need to represent you the way you want to be represented. And if your priority is to keep a deal together because you want out of it, or you want in that house and you're willing to do whatever to do that, I think we need to honor that in the moment, but at the same time tell you that you can probably get a better deal if we approach it this way, or we can try this and try that. We still won't lose you the deal. You're still not going to lose the house, but I think we can do a little bit better here. And if you still say, you know what, I don't want to risk it, thanks for the advice, at least you had that opportunity to negotiate. I think that's where we would land on that. And I think this is where the complaint comes from, is you are not in your right mind because you're emotional and you're just seeing the very end. You're not thinking. And it's our job to kind of cool that off for a couple minutes and try to get a better deal for you. So, or at least bring up the prospect. So that would be my response to the top 5 complaints about real estate agents. And now I want to ask Grok, what would be a good question to ask? How can real estate agents avoid the top 5 complaints about them? Would that be good? Let's see if that's a good question. Grok will tell me if it's bad. To address the top 5 complaints about real estate agents, agents can adopt the following strategies. 1. Improve communication. Maintain regular, clear, and timely communication with clients. Set expectations up front about response times. Said that. Provide frequent updates, e.g. weekly calls or emails. Said that. And explain the buying selling process in simple terms to keep clients informed and confident. Yeah, basically everything I said. Grok and I are in agreement. Only I put more soul into it by connecting it to turning on the lights to a haunted house and doing it before the process begins. Grok fails to mention that. So because I'm human, I'm also biased. I'm going to give myself 1 point. It's me 1, Grok 0. Number 2, to overcome the pushy or dishonest behavior, Grok says to act with integrity. It says avoid pushy tactics or misrepresentation. Be transparent about property details. Disclose any conflicts of interest. And prioritize the client's goals over commission-driven decisions. Build trust by being honest about market conditions and property value. Grok probably summed it up a little better than I did on that. Hit on a lot of the same points. I like this. I forgot to get into the disclosures and things like that. Part of the complaint up there was misrepresenting property details to close deals faster. That's horrible. You need to know exactly what you're buying, what's good with it, what's bad with it, what's right with it, what's wrong with it, and there does need to be disclosure. Hey, this is my mom's property, for instance. As an agent, we need to tell you that because that could be a conflict of interest and an assortment of other things. So disclosure, very important, that I didn't touch on, and that is part of integrity. So if we know something or should know something about a property, we need to disclose that to you. And then we hit on over and over again, prioritizing the client's goals over the commission-driven decision. There should be no commission-driven decisions. I want to be very clear about that. Our job is to help you get this thing done, and then we get paid for that, an agreed upon amount, and that should not drive like, okay, good, we got our set, we got our fee in place. Now let's go make something happen for you based on your wants, needs, desires, and decisions. Let's see, build trust by being honest about market conditions and property value. That goes without saying. So 1-to-1, I'll give Grok a point on that for bringing up things that I didn't. Enhance market knowledge in response to inadequate market knowledge. Stay well informed about local market trends, pricing, and neighborhood specifics through continuous research, attending industry seminars, and leveraging data from real estate platforms. This ensures accurate advice and helps clients make informed decisions. Stay well informed about market trends. I said that. Pricing and neighborhood specifics through continuous research. I mentioned that. Attending industry seminars. I'm going to disagree with Grok on this. Industry seminars are typically personal growth, sales-oriented skills that we need to succeed in our business, but it's more on the business side. There are very few seminars geared towards enhancing market knowledge, and if they are also littered with sales people with their books and things like that. I believe that my recommendation to get out in the market, previewing homes that are on the market and then following them to figure out what they sell for. I think getting out there, physically being in your market is a much better thing than going and hanging around with a bunch of other salespeople from different parts of the industry telling you how to best serve clients. I think market knowledge is more than anything knowing how to give great advice to buyers and sellers, and you can't do that without experience. And in lieu of experience, you need to be out there chasing trends and figuring them out. Leveraging data from real estate platforms, absolutely. So I'm going to give myself a point over Grok. I'm up 2-1, and there are no ties in this game. It's best 3 out of 5. Prioritize client needs. It says listen actively to clients' preferences and tailor services to their specific goals. We said that. Whether it's finding a dream home or maximizing sale profit. We said that. Avoid rushing clients into decisions and show properties or strategies aligned with their priorities. Yeah, I think we hit on the exact same, so maybe there are ties in this game, so let's pick it apart a little bit. Grok does not get into, he doesn't give you the advice that I gave you, that there are thousands of agents at your disposal and you need to find a better one if this stuff is happening to you, or if you have an agent that's not listening to what you're saying, what you want, things like that. Everything Grok says here is great, but they leave that human element out of just move on. Choose a better agent. There's plenty of them out there. And I'll even add to that, pay very close attention to your agreement with this agent up front, whether it's a listing agreement or a buyer rep agreement. Look for cancellation fees. They can get pricey. They can be as little as $50, and I've seen them up to 1%. If you cancel, you're going to pay 1% of whatever, however they work that out. So it can be very, very pricey to get out of these things. We here at Team Black and Gold don't even mess with that. We call it fire me for free. If you don't like the way things are going, no hard feelings. We might ask you what we could have done better, but it's not going to cost you any money. Our job is to get this thing done for you. And if the thing no longer exists or we're not doing a good job in your view, then we don't deserve anything from you. That's our philosophy. So I think I just beat Grok 3-1, but let's go on to number 5 anyway. Strengthen negotiation skills. It says hone negotiation expertise through training and practice. Bing, bing. Advocate assertively for clients' interests, whether securing a lower purchase price or better sale terms, and prepare data-driven arguments to support offers and counter offers. I kind of hit on all of that. I did not say advocate assertively for clients' interests. I'm more focused on what we can do to make sure we're representing you the way that you want to be represented. And then yes, of course, as part of negotiation, we do turn around and no matter what, in my example, it was, okay, we don't want to lose this deal, but you're giving me permission to go ahead and try to sweeten it for you a little bit, make it a little bit better. So we turn around and we negotiate as if you're willing to walk away, but we're not positioning it in a way where walking away is going to happen. That comes with skill and experience. You want to be very delicate with it. But you certainly don't want to give up ground. You don't want to lose ground that could ultimately end up in your favor. So, yes, assertively argue, advocate for clients' interests, and make it clear that you're doing so that there's not the question at the end of the day. And then data-driven arguments. I didn't say those exact words. Those are fantastic words. And we here at Team Black and Gold are very data-heavy. That's why I say go back in. We do the research on a home purchase. Yikes. To make sure the sale is in line with or below comps, or if it's over comps, you at least deserve to know that. If you still want to pay more because you think that this property has something outstanding about it, that's totally up to you. Maybe it's a perfect situation. You're like, I don't care what it costs. I want that place. We're going to be there for 20 years or more, whatever. That's fine, but you deserve the information. So, and the information that I'm talking about is data-driven information, just like Grok says here. Okay, I mean that's well, and on the other side, the sale of a property, data-driven the where we put a home for sale is almost always data driven, unless your property falls into the unique category where there's a lot of data around it but nothing speaks specifically to that property. Then we'll combine the data with a little bit of more art than science on that. So but I will give the point to Grok there for being more succinct than I am in its explanation of strengthening negotiation skills, and also because I feel like being nice to my AI friend, because I already beat him. But we'll say it was closer than it was, 3-2. Human intelligence versus artificial intelligence. The humans win again. So when you go to buy or sell a home, do all the research that you want using your favorite robot. But when you really want to get something done and you want to see it come to life, then talk to a real life agent, an expert in your market. And if you don't already have one that you use, lucky for you, we here at Team Black and Gold can fill that void. You can call me, Blake Yount, Executive Broker, 479-363-4331. Or you can call Ashley, Rockstar Realtor, 479-325-9348. And we would love to serve as your realtor of choice. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something. Hope you come back next week for the Team Black and Gold show. Thanks. Have a great day.